Hi and welcome to Scott's Inverts. Remember, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscription button, and if you like what we're doing, drop this video a like. Also hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. Now today's video, the Chilobrachys natanicharum, previously the species electric blue, and in my humble opinion it should have stayed species electric blue. This spider is just absolutely iconic in the hobby. It's an old world, it's defensive, its venom is up there, it's got everything that you ever want from a stunningly beautiful old world spider. Anyway, let's go check out our subadult female and then go on and have a look at the setup. So our spider comes all the way to us from those humid areas of Thailand. Now in Thailand experiences three very distinct seasons: a cool season, November to February, a hot season, which is March to May, and a rainy season, which is May to October. Now in the coolest time of the year, that's generally when it's not as humid as the rest of the year, and they experience temperatures across the year from 18 all the way up to 38 degrees Celsius. Now we want to be keeping our spider around 26 degrees Celsius. And the humidity around 70 to 80%. So up on screen is our sub-adult female Chilobrachys natanicharum, looking absolutely beautiful. Me personally, I'm still in love with the old species name of species electric blue. Now these spiders can grow to around 7 inches across, which makes them an absolute gorgeous old world species. They're also fossorial, so what that means is they will create a burrow and go quite deep, and we need to take that into consideration when creating an enclosure for this girl, humidity wise. Now considering where they come from, Thailand, where it's generally raining a lot of the time, we want to increase that humidity and keep it up to around 70 to 80%. As far as growth goes, you can get sling to adult female in about 5 to 6 years, and when they are slings, you keep them in a vial pot 3/4 of the way up with a damp substrate so they can burrow down. Now the males, they are a little bit smaller, they're kind of between 3 to 5 inches, and males live between 3 to 5 years and mature around 3 years of age. Females, you're looking at anywhere from 25 years plus. Now venom wise, the venom of this old world species is something you don't want to experience. Reports say extremely painful. They are very, very defensive, quick to flick those legs up, and also quick to bite, so be exceptionally careful when rehousing and feeding this girl. And the blues and the pinks on the legs are absolutely gorgeous, and again, that carapace on this spider is absolutely stunning. And just as a side note, that blue coloration in animals full stop is absolutely gorgeous and a really rare phenomenon in nature. And what it is, you'd think it was actually pigments, colour pigments that make that blue, but it is not. It's biological photonic nanostructures. And each species that has the colour of blue has evolved that blue independently from one another as well. Absolutely fascinating stuff. Now let's take a look at the enclosure and how we're going to look after this beautiful species. Okay, my favourite part of tarantula keeping, the actual setup. Now this is a 30 by 30 by 30 glass enclosure. The reason I've gone for such a large enclosure is because I want to breed this girl and I want the male to have a chance of escaping. So I'm going to give her plenty of room. Now the substrate is Irish peat moss. We've put an inch in and we're pouring a cup full of water in. We're going to mix that water into the soil. I want those base layers of substrate to be quite damp compared to the top ones, and again that is so that humidity can rise up through the soil, and to keep that humidity there we're going to overflow the water dish, and you'll be able to see the water actually go down between the soil and the glass to the base of the substrate, plus creating that cycle all over again. So we're going to mix this water well into the substrate so we get that kind of a clumping sensation when we pick it up in our hands. You want it so when you squeeze it, you see at least a single droplet of water there. Again, this species comes from Thailand, so kind of be thinking of that humidity and the weather conditions in Thailand. In fact, I highly suggest you do a little bit of Googling when it comes to the weather locations of where all our spiders come from, and you can kind of see temperatures and humidities from there to how we keep them. Now, I'm just showing you on screen literally the depths of substrate that I'm going to be going up. all the way up to the top. And what I've done is I kept it moist all the way up to the top, and every couple of inches just padded it down. Now, they don't have to ram that substrate down so it's like concrete. Remember, the spider has got to try and burrow through it. Now, I've created a little bit of a slope at the back here. And now this is basically because the cork bark that I'm using is only slightly curved, and I want to give it that kind of natural feel. So the substrates in the wild aren't flat, they're up and down. So that's what I'm trying to recreate here. And we found a nice piece of cork bark. I'm going to put it in there, and then you know what's coming. You know some moss is going to come in as well. So just while we're setting it up in the background, let me also tell you that this species isn't always found in a burrow. Sometimes they can also be found in the hollows of trees and in the base of hollows of trees as well. Really interesting spider. Now, I had this from an old fish tank that we used to have, and I've been dying to put it into an enclosure, and I thought, you know what, we've got the room, we've got the surface area in this one. I'm going to push it in nice and deep and try it out, and I think it's got to grow on me, but I've decided to leave it in there. I'm going to put some moss around it, and hopefully it looks a little bit better to how I think it does at the moment. But at the end of the day, that surface layer, as long as we got the humidities right, it's just literally for us more than anything. And I've also decided I'm not going to spray this enclosure down like I normally do. So I've absolutely drenched that moss, so it is dripping wet, and it is going in there like that. Now, the reason I don't want to spray it is because I wanted to visually confirm that the moss was absolutely drenched before going in. And what this will do is help kickstart that moss and help also keep that humidity inside that burrow. It's kind of, if you imagine the moss on top of the enclosure, it's like a blanket. So if the blanket keeps the warmth in, the moss is going to keep the humidity in, and I absolutely adore it. Found some darker, different type of species of moss as well, so we're going to put that in there as well, and just keep that coming down on that right hand side. This bottom left hand corner, that's where I want to put the water dish, and we're going for a bit bigger of a water dish so we can keep that air humidity up as well, because it's mesh lid, conscious of that air humidity. Going to put some more moss in at the back. Again, I'm really hoping that our spider goes into that burrow that we've created and starts webbing up and burrowing down there. This species can be quite a heavy webber as well, so I'm kind of expecting her to web up all inside the cork bark there and coming out of the bark as well as. And sometimes what they do is they actually web up outside of the burrow and pull in some of the moss to kind of create an entrance almost. Now, going down there now is just leaf litter that I've squashed up and I keep in a bag. Some tiny little bits of sticks as well that go on the floor there. Again, just trying to create that forest floor feel. But let me know down in those comments if you think we're kind of there or not. I know in Thailand, on the forest floors, there's probably not as much moss as what we're putting in the enclosure, but we need to be thinking about that humidity and keeping it up. And I kind of like moss just a little bit. Now, this is another fish tank ornament. It is actually proper wood, and I thought, you know what, we'll put it in the corner as well. Again, that foresty floor feeling. And put some more leaf litter in and around. And again, this is to give it that forest floor feeling. But also, the spider could pull some of those pieces of leaf litter into the burrow and use it as structure for her burrow. And we'll put that all-important water dish in, and our enclosure is complete.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. You got me like, oh. quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Boom! Natanicharum, Chilobrachys, natanicharum, absolutely nailed. What a beautiful spider that is. And as you can see, we are rebuilding our collection from when the heating failed in here and it went down to -2, and we had all that terrible activity. So we are rebuilding. Let me take you actually, show you the Ephiopus Marineus from last week's care video, just how much she's webbed up. We'll have a quick look at the GBB as well. In fact, oh, just come on, come and have a look. So the actual spider shed at the moment is a bit of a mess because, as I said, I'm doing loads of stuff in here. But just look how much the Ephiopus Marineus has done. Absolutely covered the water dish. I'm not gonna leave the water dish in and just put another one over there. The Blondie is hiding away under there, but here's some of the good stuff. So the Reduncus female that we got is in there and has actually covered all the cork bark tube. So fingers crossed, she's going into a molt. The Cambridgei again has done the same thing. The top of that cork bark is all webbed up. The Rufus here, spin her around, you'll be able to see. So when I did that video and explained that when this cork bark was up, she'll web this whole area, and she has absolutely done it and looking absolutely beautiful. The Borealis over there, and this is the GBB enclosure, and if you look, she is actually just there. But just look how much webbing can one spider do. I mean, that makes that enclosure just look absolutely amazing. So that is it for today's video. Really appreciate every single one of you commenting, liking and just supporting the channel in general. It means a lot to me at the moment. I am going through some struggles at the moment, to say the least, and I thought I'd share it with you because I know this is it's just a weird subject that's affecting us. So my dad is 78, my mum's early 70s, and I'm going to try and do all this without getting too upset. So my dad's been in hospital for nearly 2 months. He went in with a water infection, developed delirium, which acts on the brain as like dementia, very similar to dementia. But he keeps getting up, he keeps punching walls, he forgets things like who you are, where he is, reverts back to like an environment from 30 years ago and thinks that's what's going on at the hospital. Sometimes he thinks the hospital is his house and he gets up to try and check doors and stuff like that. He's not eating as much. He's lost a lot of weight and it's really worrying for me and my family at the moment. I mean, the wife does not know exactly to the extent that it's affecting me at the moment. My mum relies on me heavily to be the pillar of support. My brother, he's going to and from the hospital daily. He doesn't work because of a real bad back injury, so he's able to give my mum a lift to and from, but he's finding it difficult because he's seeing my dad kind of get worse and worse. They found a care home for him, and it's the possibility of one in Coventry, so I'm going to be the closest, so I'll be able to go every single day, which is fantastic. But that's one of the reasons why like the lives have been hit and miss over the last few months, because my head's just not been in it, and if I'm not energetic and if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to put out a crap live for you guys, you know what I mean? But the problem we've got at the moment is our granddad was really loved, or my granddad was really loved in the family. My mum's dad, he was absolute, just an amazing person. Just everybody that met him absolutely loved him. He was one of these guys that could just fix anything, do anything, smile on his face all the time, no matter what was going on. And he developed dementia and he went to hospital, very similar to how my stepdad has. And and then as soon as he went to this care home, he died within about 8-9 days. So we're all just thinking that's going to happen. So at the moment, I apologise if I'm not getting back to some of you guys on Messenger and things like that. I will do. It's just a bit difficult at the moment, this current situation. And I know what you're thinking. It just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it? But yeah. Anyway, but that's what's going on in the background of Scott's Inverts. But the Spider Army is doing absolutely amazing. We've got a WhatsApp chat. I'm in there quite regular. If you want to pop in there, come and say hello. Chris and Ling are also in there. Dave's Little Beasties, he's in there. Luke from Spar Spiders. Sir Charlie G, Jeremy as well. So, and some others. There's some really high class minds in there. Now we've got a general chat, which is, guess what, for general chatting about absolutely anything and everything. You know, what washing pad are you using to when you're taking the dog for a walk. But then we've got individual chats as well. So we've got chats that are specifically aimed at tarantulas, mantis, centipedes, scorpions, so on and so forth. So if that's something that you're into, if you want to be part of that community, I'll leave a link to the WhatsApp group downstairs as well. Anyway, like I said, I could not appreciate all of you any more than what I do. I really do love your support, and it means a lot to me. So thank you so much, and as always, we shall see you again on the next one.